So I think, loyalty historically has been critically important and a strategic asset for a brand to engender customer loyalty, retention, repeat purchase. In times of crisis, as we saw with the global financial crisis in 2008, 2009, and as I think we're confronting right now with COVID-19, loyalty again becomes a paramount asset to leverage to ensure that you're continuing to keep the communications and as much as possible your value proposition, your relationship with your most loyal and most valuable customers in play and supported. So I think, very much it's an aspect that can be leveraged in times of crisis, but maybe not in the traditional way that we think about it, where we're extending a lot of rewards and offers and marketing messages. Perhaps now it's used as a more important channel to get real-time information, critical messages related even to operations. Think about a retailer or a travel hospitality company. Is really an important and strong conduit to your customers and to your most loyal members.
So I think one of the biggest challenges, and it's interesting, this really exists at some of the largest brands in the world, is that they look at their loyalty initiative, and especially if they have a points program, and they're seeing it to some degree as an expense. And I'm always surprised by that. That's been a trend that we've seen for a long time, but I would say that trend is increasing over the last 18 months. And I think Corona, unfortunately, probably creates an opportunity for it to actually increase even more. But what we do and what we're really focused on is the opportunity that it sits inside that, which is to expand the understanding of how these programs are really intended to drive greater impact from a customer engagement, a customer lifetime value, and of course, a bottom line perspective, driving incremental sales or interactions, whatever is important to that client. And so I think the current challenge is people looking at just a piece of their loyalty initiative and not seeing the total picture of it. And I think that's why the advisory services side of what we do is so important to our business, is to really shine a light beyond just the nuts and bolts of what goes through a system or a process. But I think that's probably going to increase to some degree after we come out of this pandemic.
Loyalty, like the sort of the foundational elements haven't changed. Like, you better have a good product. Like, these are table stakes. You better have a good product. It better be at the right price for what you're delivering. You have to deliver on your brand promise. You have to have good customer service because of the way that the Yelps and the social channels of the world work today. So those are table stakes, and that's not what's driving loyalty. That's what could be driving purchase, but not necessarily loyalty. And loyalty, from what we're seeing from all of the communities that we build and manage, to also just the research and all of the studies that we've done over the past 10 years, is built on an emotional connection. So those that want to really win with customer loyalty, they're sharing, they're creating a sense of belonging. They have shared values. They are able to bring together like-minded. So even in a B2B world, you're bringing like-minded marketers together. In a consumer world for Hello Products, they're bringing new moms together, or they're bringing millennials together. So this is an opportunity to create this home and destination. And we also work with a lot of smaller challenger brands, and the community has actually allowed them to win against some of the really big brands, because they look at, instead of retention, they look at relationship, and they look at building that relationship first. They don't have those massive media dollars that maybe a larger brand has, so they have to rely on having that relationship with the consumer, so that consumer will go out and advocate for them or talk about them. So we really think that it's not just about a community for fandom and where your greatest fans go, but it's a place for you as the marketer to tell your story. That's always the Oz thing, like they get behind the curtain and say what we're about, but it's also for you to listen and hear the consumer story, because that emotional connection is why when they are standing at that shelf and they're looking at, a row of oral care products example, and they have joined your community and they love your brand, they know why you deliver what you deliver, where your products are sourced from, they're more likely to purchase your product, and they're more likely to tell people about it. So that loyalty really comes from having that emotional bond.
I think there's a number of challenges. I think technology availability is a challenge in general. So access to solutions that can really create that engagement with that customer. Customers today are looking for a more personalized experience, more opportunity to use that program, and I think the technology's there. I think I'd recommend that they start with the member first. So that customer who's interacting with the program you want to create emotional engagement with that customer. So going through that user experience on all aspects of how that program's run. So how they earn, and make sure that that's unique and tailored specifically to what that customer is looking for, directly to ultimately that reward, so how they burn.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the, the challenges brands see is I think we're living in a world of more information than ever. And I think that the brands, what you say and what you do matters. And I think that the brands have to make sure that they're focused on delivering upon the brand promise that they give to their consumers. And I think that's why a lot of them are taking a lot of internal initiatives to ensure that their loyalty and engagement programs are top of mind with their consumers. And they're looking to outsource it to entities like us who could help them along that journey.
The biggest challenge today is loyalty. It's hard. Getting someone to focus is hard. Getting them to pay attention. Heck, for any of us that have kids or teenagers, I mean, just think of them as a consumer. To get their attention beyond 60 seconds, that's a difficult thing. So getting people's attention and getting them to focus on something is very difficult. Getting them to be loyal beyond the norm is difficult. To get them to choose you over your competition every time is difficult. And COVID now, with what's gone on and what's happening and what continues to happen and what we all wonder about what the new normal is going to be coming out of this, that's made things even more difficult, especially for retailers that are non-essential retailers, in a sense. Non-essential as the new terms of the new definition has become. Those who are luxury brand retailers are really struggling right now, and so there's the loyalty factor, the need to drive loyalty, engagement, retain customers, or even win customers back is more important than ever, and more difficult as well.